Hello, my dear friends of symphonic brass music, and welcome to another shopping tip-ish sort of video. Um, a lot of people ask me what they should buy, and so I thought, why not doing a video if maybe you guys out there too wonder what to buy. And today, I searched a bit for a setup where I thought it would be a great thing to have as a rock band. So, standard rock band, let's say drums, bass, guitars, doesn't matter how many keys if you have, and obviously vocals. Did I say bass? Yeah, bass as well. So, and I didn't set myself a budget this time, but I tried to get it in some okay-ish range. So it's not the cheapest of the cheapest, but it's not breaking the bank. And so, is that the phrase? I don't know. So it's not over budget. I think it's mediocre. And I think it's doable if you see yourself as a proper band, hobby band whatsoever. Even though it's not high-end professional, I think you can get a decent sound out of it. It can do proper demos and pre-production and all the good stuff in your studio. I take it for granted you have a computer, and I sort of take it for granted you have a recording software, because I don't want to pick one for you. There are so many different things out there, starting from GarageBand, which is on your Mac if you have a Mac. There's Logic, which is interesting if you have a Mac. There's Pro Tools, which I use, but there's also Cubase and Studio One and so on and so forth. I don't want to choose one for you, because you should just, if you're not certain what to pick, just pick one, and you're happy if you're a starter. So I just focus on hardware, and even though it's not in the list right now, I will include cables and stuff in this list for you to see. So I have a page where you can see this, exactly that, what you see now on screen, is a link down in the description below where you can check all the items out. I switched the website now rightly to English language, but all the prices are for the German shop, and just pick Thomann because I like them and I like to shop there, and I have an affiliation link there. So if you buy stuff from the link down in the description below, I get a few cents out of it, which is happily appreciated. So let's start. And I don't know everything myself, but a lot of things I heard good things, and I thought I'd buy them myself, and some things I have myself. So let's start with an audio interface and make a new tab for it. So the audio interface I picked is the Focusrite Scarlett 18i 23rd generation. This is a USB 2.0 interface. Oh, just to start, I thought you won't be able to make live recordings happening with a sort of normal budget, because you need more inputs to get a proper sound out of it. So I'm talking about overdub recording. So you record the drums first, maybe with bass, if it's possible, depending on how many toms you have. And then you do the guitars, then you do the keys, then you do the vocals whatsoever. So it's not a live recording setup, even though this interface is able to do 18 tracks. You only have 8 microphone inputs. But the one reason I choose it is that it has, and why is this now again on German? Let me change the language real quick. There we go. And it has 2 headphone outputs, and that's the important thing why I choose the Focusrite Scarlett, because a lot of interfaces don't have 2 headphone outputs, which is not ideal if you have someone sitting on the computer and wants to listen to what you do, and you have a musician who would love to listen to what he needs to play or she needs to play. So this is why I choose it, and you have 8 mic inputs, which you need for all the mics I'm going to show you in a minute. So you have this rack unit with 2 mics in front, 2 inputs, 6 further 8 mic inputs on the back. You don't need all that. You don't need all that. You just plug it by USB-C. And that's it. Great user interface in front. I know Focusrite for being really, really reliable. Good for the money, good quality. You get a bunch of software as well. But all of these software, as far as I know, are not able to record 8 tracks at once. And also a great thing about it, it's you can put more stuff in it. So it has 2 added inputs. So you can make it an 18 input interface. So you have the chance to really let your studio grow with this one interface. This will not be something you throw away as soon as you expand. This is something you will keep, and you will happily keep, even though it's not the highest of all high end, but it's a good thing to have. So number 2, and why again does the language change? Give me a second. Sorry for that. Here we go. And then I thought about microphones, and particularly about drum microphones. And so I thought we're going to go for a stereo overhead. I'm going to show you in a minute. 1 on the snare, 1 in the kick, and a few on the toms, as many toms as you have. So the one I struggled a bit with overhead, because there are different options, but I think that you're more flexible by buying yourself large diaphragm microphones as you are by buying small diaphragm microphones. That's just my idea. And I'm just thinking about to switch these. Seriously, no, we're not going for the C12. We're going for small diaphragm microphones, and I'll tell you in a minute why. And we're going for the Octava, and we're going for the cheap solution. Let me check. There's a cable included. No, not that. 2 capsules, black pear. That's it. That's the one. We're gonna pick this. I'm gonna put that in the list. So forget what I said, because the last thing I changed was put in a vocal mic in, which you can also use as a room mic. And so we're happy to use the small diaphragm microphone as a drum overhead, because my thinking was just buy a stereo pair of large diaphragm microphones and use them as vocal microphones for acoustic guitars or whatever. And now I picked a large diaphragm microphone for vocals separately, so you can go for small diaphragm microphones, which will be a better solution for acoustic guitars and drum overheads. So there we go. Long way around. And I can highly recommend these Octava. I have them myself, and I use them quite a lot. I have the case with different capsules, but you don't necessarily need them. I barely use the Omni and never used the Supercardioid. So these are great microphones for, again, not much money. €307 for a stereo pair of small condenser microphones, which are really, really great quality. The clamps are a bit crap, but you get around this. Made in Russia. And yeah, can highly recommend to use these as overhead for acoustic guitar, for percussion. If you do choir, go for them. Whatever. Just great microphones. So we switch these. The one I would recommend on the snare, classic Shure SM57. Even though I'm not using it, I can highly recommend to use them. because they're rock solid, and you can also use them for the guitar amp and for the acoustic guitar and for everything else you might come across, even for vocals, because a Shure SM7B is not that far off sonically from an SM57. I guess it's the same capsule anyway. All you need to do is put a pop filter in front of it, and then you're fine to go. So again, you have something not really expensive, but giving you a lot of options. And I'm seriously going for the Shure SM57 and not for the Behringer and not for the T-Bone something. They're all pretty much crap in terms of noisiness and not having a reliable frequency range. And being very, some mics might be good and some mics might be bad. So go for the real one, go for the Shure one, you're better off. Same applies to the kick drum. I highly recommend the D112 by AKG because it's the one for the most reasonable price, but not being Chinese crap. I have it myself, I have the D112 myself, really happy with it. And it gives you all the sounds you need. You can put this in the kick drum for a folk band. You can also put this, obviously, in the kick drum for a metal band. And you will get the sound out of it. You see here, that's the frequency response of the D112 with the click in it, and you can just put it out. If you don't need it, EQ it out, but you can never really EQ something in. You can, if something isn't there, it's not there. So this is why I would go for the D112. And now the P4 is something I never touched, but I just looked for tom mics, which again are not that expensive, but not from a crap company, and seem to be reliable. I came across the 421, which are just 6 times the price of the P4, the classic Sennheiser MD421. I use clip mics myself, which are again over €200 for a tom mic. This is not really necessary. I mean, if you're going for high end, obviously, but there are reasons why I use them. But if you're just doing stuff in your rehearsal space, you're happy by using something for $50. And this is just something I thought is solid for not that much money. And you get a clamp with it, which is good. So you don't have that much stands around. This is why I would recommend the AKG Perception. And then, last but not least, I go for headphones. I don't show you in detail, you see in the list. Audio-Technica ATH M30, which are just pretty cheap but close headphones. I have older Audio-Technica myself, pretty solid. And this is the vocal microphone I would go for, because I heard great stuff about it. It's not that expensive, and it has 5 different polar patterns, which gives you the opportunity to do a whole lot with it. So you can put the whole band around the mic and do claps. You can put it in cardioid, obviously, and record vocals. You can put it into supercardioid and record acoustic guitar while doing something else. You can put it in figure of 8 and do background vocals with 2 singers and have a bit of separation. You can use it as a room mic. You can use it as a room mic in an MS figuration, and so on and so forth. So you get a mic which is pretty versatile for not really much money. I heard great things about Lewitt. Never had a Lewitt mic myself in the studio, but I heard so many great things about this company that I think I can highly recommend it. It comes also with a pop filter and a windshield, so you don't need that separately. So highly recommend this. And this basically is the setup I would recommend for you. Just to go for recording your band, and just get rid of the 412. No, not in my fucking basket. What did I just do? Seriously, how do I get them out? Do I need to go there or what? Delete. Well, that's not handy. What the fuck? Okay. Wow, that's a bit crap. Sorry. No. Holy shit. There we go. Okay, sorry for that. Let me just quick calculate together how much money you will need. So it's one time the interface, obviously. It's 157. It's 1D12. Let's say you have 3 toms, so it's 150 euro for the tom mics. You need 2 headphones. You need the Lewitt mic, and you will go for the Octavius. So with all the stands and the cable and everything around, we're safe under 2,000 euros. So it's 117 close, 1,700 euro for the mics, a bit under. I know it's a lot of money. I said it's not the cheapest solution ever, but it's a solid solution to make your rehearsal space a recording studio for a whole band. If you're interested in stuff on more budget, just give me a few challenges and say how much money you want to invest in what, and I will happily try to find a solution for your problem on your budget. If you like this type of video, just hit the subscribe button, because I want to do a bit more like that, specialized for some instruments as well, or some genres as well. If there's something you want me to cover, just let me know. And press that thumb up. Thanks very, very much for watching, or listening and watching my screen. Thank you very, very much. See you soon. Bye bye.